Frame 21. Best Buy is not a client, but they've done a great job of engaging, activating their entire workforce to participate on Twitter through this program called the 12th Force. Best Buy is a major retailer here in the United States. And what they're doing is they're engaging with people in real time around consumer electronics and consumer electronics issues. And it's very smart because it's, yes, there's a hub where you can go to, but all the conversations are taking place also in the spokes. 22. Ford has done a great job of saying, okay, here's all the different places where we participate. Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, Flickr, Scribd, etc. And you can get that on our site. It's a hub. But it's also, these are all our embassies in the spokes, and this is where you can engage with us. And if you never come back to this site, you just want to engage with us on those places, fantastic. So that's solution number one. You have to be ubiquitous, and I think you have to be and you can do that through digital embassies. The next thing to consider is what we call multiplicity and diversity. And this is an image that was in New York Magazine over the summer, talking about the Obama administration here in the United States and how the White House increasingly communicates. So under the Bush administration and prior administrations, it was very much a message of the day approach. The administration communications team had a message, and that was propagated through different channels, whether it be TV, the internet, newspapers, etc. There was one message, and then the next day they went on to another message. Now, I think what the Obama team is doing, they recognize that this is a new environment. It's not the same way it used to be. You do need to be ubiquitous, and you can tell different stories in different places all at the same time. So they might tell. Yesterday they were telling the H1N1 story on Flickr. They posted an image of the president getting a flu shot. Where they went and they told the healthcare story in other venues. So like on the Associated Press, for example. So that they tell multiple stories in multiple places in multiple ways all at the same time. And that's the White House. Now, I think that's true for brands as well. One company that's getting at this is our client, but it's not necessarily our work, is Starbucks. And they are telling multiple stories, multiple places at the same time. They have this great site called My Starbucks Idea, where people can come and suggest different ideas. More than 50 ideas have been implemented off this site already. And yes, it also has a connection into YouTube, into Twitter, into Facebook. And so it's got this hub and spoke approach around collaboration and mostly product types of stuff, how you actually make the product and the service offering better. But beyond that, they also have on Frame 25 a Twitter account where they're talking about fair trade. And that's separate from the My Starbucks Idea initiative. Next frame. They have a YouTube presence where they're talking more about product stuff or promotions. And so they're engaged in different things, different places, different messages, all at the same time. And to their credit. And I think that's a difficult thing for a lot of people to do. But it is something that has to happen because people want to engage with one part of the story, not the whole thing. If you're talking about one aspect of something, people may not care. If you have multiple ways for people to engage with you around multiple topics, you're more likely to reach them and captivate attention in the age of streams. Next, frame 27. Another example. This is another U.S. example. This is the Center for Disease Control here in the United States. And this is the organization that is charged with keeping us healthier, especially as it relates to things like the flu. And they show you on their website. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, MySpace, Daily Strength, CDC, YouTube channel, etc. Go connect with us there. And they have this approach that I think that works nicely. Okay, last thing. When people do want to go, so that's how you reach people, who maybe are more passive. When people do want to go deep into a subject, they're going to search. They're going to go to Google to search out information. And I also think they'll start to do more searches in Twitter and Facebook as well. Obviously, Google is now becoming more real time. We see this with Google real time search beginning to blend search and social networking. We've been saying that for about a year, that search and social networking are going to blend in a very powerful way. And so that things find you through the lens of friends. But also, you go and you drill down into things that you care about and you go and you find them. So you have to think about how all the content you create and the content that you generate will be discoverable when people do want to go deeper into those areas of passion that they have. And, here's 29, next frame. Simple example, not ours again. Best Western Best Western Hotels has this little blog called On the Go with Amy. And, it's this travel blog where Amy's writing about different types of things. Back in August, she wrote a post that says, book Thanksgiving travel now. How to actually, book your Thanksgiving travel now. Well, if you go to next frame 30, if you went in, as of a few months ago and you Googled, book Thanksgiving travel, that blog post was number one. And that's what the power of pull is all about. It's making sure that when people want to go down in deep into a topic, that you are there and discoverable. And I think there's a bit of an art and science to how you do that. So, next frame here, this is an example, 31 of JetBlue. They've done enough of that so that now the JetBlue Twitter account, ranks high on Google. And also on frame 32, a lot of that is because what's happening now is that they're ubiquitous. More, if you go and you search for JetBlue on Twitter, you will very likely find them engaged in conversation, with consumers. And so they are recognizing that by being relatively ubiquitous, by having different content platforms, and by, making sure they're discoverable, they will be able to communicate in the age of streams. So, wrapping up, though, that's kind of what I wanted to talk to you about today, is that, we're all facing this big challenge of all this information coming at us. We're going to have to cope with it. And I think people are going to be more passive in some ways, but they'll be, more active in seeking out things that they do care about. The ways to, mitigate that are, one, to be as ubiquitous as you can, whether it be as an individual or as a brand. Two, to have different stories told in different places at the same time. And three, thinking about when people do want to go deep, when people do want to take a swim in the stream, if you will, that that you are discoverable on the things you want to be known for. And so that's what we're looking at Edelman Digital. And so I would love to take questions and have a discussion.
Great. Thanks, Steve. Hear your claps?
I do, and I can see them too.
Awesome.